The Waters Returned, a memoir of a German settler witnessing the flood of 2002, told in the voice of Johann Eckhart, time traveler from 1845. I awoke to a world that bore the name I once knew, Guadalupe Valley, but it had changed in such strange and dreadful ways. In 1845, I left the banks of the Rhine for the promise of this Texas Eden. My kin and I carved our homestead near the bend of the river, where pecans grew thick and the deer walked without fear. We knew the river as a giver, rising in spring, whispering in drought, but always obeying the natural bounds of the land. But in this year, 2002, I returned, and the river did not whisper, it roared. It began with a rain, unremarkable at first, yet unnatural in its persistence. The skies wept, as if mourning something far older than me. Roads, long black scars of stone, now crisscrossed the land, sealing the earth beneath them. The water, having nowhere to soak, gathered in angry sheets. I found my old valley buried in an ocean. The Guadalupe, once a friend, had grown wild-eyed. It tore at bridges. Uprooted trees I once planted with my own hands. The stone houses the moderns had built stood helpless. I saw rooftops bobbing like driftwood, livestock drowned where once they grazed. A man in yellow, a rescuer they called him, floated past on a vessel made of rubber, shouting into a tiny glowing box. I could not make sense of his words, but his eyes betrayed terror, the kind we knew only when the Comanche came silent in the night. In the old days, we feared flood, yes, but we respected the land. We built on high ground, let the cedar and switchgrass guard the banks. Now, it seemed, concrete ruled, and the river resented its chains. They called it a 500-year flood, as if nature had kept its calendar. But I remembered how the land once drank deeply. Now she was parched beneath the pavement, and so the river ran where it never should have. Children were swept away. Entire barns, cars, fences vanished beneath brown torrents. A woman clutched a fence post for hours as the current tore at her legs. I wanted to reach her, but I was only a ghost in this strange time. It rained, and it rained. Over 30 inches fell in mere hours. In my time, such a thing would mean the wrath of God, and perhaps it was. When the waters finally receded, they left behind not just mud, but memory. The old bones of the valley ached with grief. I saw pieces of plastic, what they now call trash, strewn across the mesquite like offerings to some false god. I wept not just for the dead, but for the land that had been severed from the rhythm of creation, where once the earth and sky had danced. Now man had built walls between them. And yet, as the sun pierced through the gray and lit upon the cypress knees, I saw something. Children barefoot in the muck, laughing. A man with a shovel, digging out his neighbor's gate. Strangers passing bread and blankets. Not coin. Perhaps not all is lost. But I return now to my own time with a warning etched in my soul, like the grooves of an old plow. The river remembers. And when it comes to reclaim what was once hers, you best not be standing in her way. Johann Eckhart, 1845, settler of the Guadalupe, time traveler by storm and spirit.